Today I am here to represent a small brief introduction and PPT on effective technologies that can save our environment. And it's a part of our environmental science subject code MC4 7 and it is presented by myself, Durgesh Gupta, and my colleagues Viprosan Majumdar and Jayesh Kumar Jha. And here the contents. Its content, introduction, what is environment, what is technology, few upcoming or ongoing technologies that can shape our environment, future, which includes smart cities, e-vehicle, classification, climber, ocean cleaner, microbes and wave road. And it also has some hypotheses and key users who are shaping the world, and conclusion and reference, slogan and note of gratitude. And here is the introduction. We all know society is changing, as change is the law of nature, and we as a human have evolved from a very long time of period. With the current rising pace of modernization, our technology has also evolved. Now in this 21st century, we get better facilities such as healthcare, information, education, etc. But this rising industries has also come with a great cost on humanity, and it must also give some side effects such as natural calamities. Urbanization has also caused increase in pollution, population, temperature, rising temperature, global temperature, climate change. And if we don't take these issues seriously, then our future will be doomed. Now we are coming to our topic, what is environment? The environment is widely used and has many definitions, but in pure way it can be summarized as anything that is surrounding to us, and it includes all the elements such as human, nature, buildings, etc. In environment has also the literal meaning, which contains all the surrounding objects in our vicinity, that are elements of systems including nature and entities which is surrounded. And we are coming to our second topic, what is technology. Technology is continuously developing, resulted of accumulated knowledge and application in techniques, skills and methods and processes. Technology is embedded in the operation of all machines with or without detailed knowledge of their function. System applied these technologies to perform various tasks and hence produce some output which are favorable to us. While technical advance and ultimately the pursuit of society towards technological singularity has the economics to boost and produce a better class of society. And here are the few upcoming technologies that are shaping our world for a better future. Over the years, technologies have progressed very rapidly, and our day-to-day daily lives have become very easier with the help of modern technologies. Modern technologies have paved the way of multifunctional devices like the smartphone, smartwatches, etc. Since there are so many technologies advancing, it is hardly able, we as a human is hardly able to keep track of it. So the overwhelming number of technologies is vast, but the new technologies are designed to make our life easier. And these are the few technologies that are trending right now, that is internet, smartphone, personal computer, IoT devices, blockchain, Web 3.0, cryptocurrencies. But let's talk about something different which are away from the mainstream. Now let's talk about what is smart city. The word smart is subjective. For a person, a smart can be intelligent and bright, but for the other person, the smart can be ordinary. So let's dive to our real question. What is a smart city? In reality, there is no actual definition for smart city, but we can summarize it as a framework predominantly composed of information and communication technologies to develop and deploy and promote sustainable development practice to address growing urbanization challenges. So here question rises, why do we need smart cities and how it's inevitable? So the reason for need of smart city is urbanization. Urbanization is a non-ending phenomenon. We as a human have been progressing from a long time. Today 54% of the world live in cities, and the figure will be grow to reach 66 by 2050. With the overall population growth, urbanization will add another 2.5 billion people to the cities over the next coming decades. And another reason for the need of smart city is management of both natural as well as man-made resources. It is very difficult to manage huge number of growing human population and keeping check of increasing pollution. Smart cities also increase the standard of living of people living in the cities and managing law and order, giving better hospitality and green energy and good governance. It will also foster economic growth and facilitate an increased deliveries of services to the citizen. Now here arises the question, what makes a city smart? How can we differentiate a city from a smart city? With the presence of these following facilities, a city can be considered smart. Number one, analytics. Putting data to work, there is so much data that is being collected. It can be formed from about anything, air, water, molecules, vehicles, lights, etc. And putting this data in a manner such as that the analyzing and collecting this data will give a better future of the city. And another work of our smart city is better transportation system. And we have the two key technologies that will shape our future, that is adaptive traffic signals and smart pedestrian safety. The conventional traffic signals used traffic light use timers, but in adaptive traffic signals, instead of relying on outdated technologies, smart cities will use adaptive signals that can adjust traffic lights with real time using AI. Smart pedestrian safety. There is a startup called CarTrack, which is innovating to approach real time traffic signal that controls and combines research from artificial intelligence and traffic theory. CarTrack optimizes the performance of signals from the traffic that is actually on road to improve flow of traffic for both urban grids and corridors, leading to less waiting and less traffic congestion. And another element of our smart city is better health building better health, that is building healthier communities. And these are the key technologies that are used: artificial intelligence and augmented reality. The artificial intelligence has the potential to redesign healthcare completely, as AI algorithms can be able to mine medical records to design treatment or to lessen the gap of the time taken to treat a patient. More recently, Google has also developed an AI, DeepMind, that created AI for breast cancer analysis. The algorithm outperformed all human radiologists and increased selection data set to identify breast cancer on an average of 11.5%. Augmented reality. Augmented reality might help medical students prepare better for real life operations. Augmented reality is different from virtual reality. In augmented reality, the components of real nature is also preserved and has given, and there are many data that are inputted beyond the natural objects. This technology is used by the students of Western Reserve University that are using Microsoft HoloLens to study anatomy without needing need of a physical dead body. And environment for a smart city, we need to create resilient urban environments. Innovations has helped smart cities stay long in the face of changing environmental, economic or political conditions. Much of the effort in this area is being prepared. Although it's quite known to us that we cannot escape a tornado or hurricane, but we can minimize the damage, and we can also predict and with a precise AI and help with the help of precise reaction, we can take measures to minimize the loss. Sensor in water can help cities measure flood maps. The data collected from sensors from other areas could be used to better predict where major fires are likely to happen. It also provides air quality monitoring, which will help in reducing fewer GHG emission, 30 to 130 fewer kilograms of solid waste per person per year, and 25 to 80% liters of safe water will be saved per person per day. So here's the question: how smart city works? Smart cities follow 4 steps to improve the quality of life and enable economic growth through a network of connected IoT devices and other technologies. These are collection. Smart cities collect a various amount of and a huge amount of data that analyze and perform various tasks. Analysis. The data is analyzed to give insights into the operation of city services and operations. Communication. The result of the data analysis are put to communication to make decisions. Action. Action is taken to improve operation, manage assets, and improve the quality of city life for the residents. The information communication technology framework brings together real-time data from connected assets, objects, and machines to improve decision making. However, in addition, citizens are also need to able to engage with the IoT devices for a better output. So here are the challenges faced by smart cities. First of all, the benefits offered by smart cities are very good, but there are very challenges which we need to overcome. These include transparency and availability to citizens via open data portal or mobile. The source code need to be open so that the public and general public can know what's data being collected from this. This all requires a solid and secure system of data collection and storage to prevent hacking or misuse of the data. Integrity. The data must not only be available, but it must be accurate, because our wrong data can cause many fatal accidents in many cases. Confidentiality. Sensitive data need to be kept confidential and safe from the unauthorized access. We need to make sure that the data is safe from unauthorized access. Accountability. System users need to be accountable for their actions and interactions. A user will be responsible for their any kind of mistakes which they are not supposed to do. Pre-training is required. Most of the people in society are not aware with the technology, so they need to be pre-trained. Huge capital investment, but the initial cost of investing in a smart city is very high. Smart city in India, the smart city mission will be operated as a centrally sponsored scheme, and the central government has aimed to provide financial support, that is rupees 48,000 crore over a period of 5 years. That is on an average of rupees 100 crore per city per year. And here are the current example, current cities in the world that are said to be. And let's come to our topic, that is e-vehicle. And I shall pass this to my friend.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here is the topic e-vehicle. An electric vehicle is an automatic vehicle that uses one or more electric motors for propulsion. Propulsion means nothing but push an object forward. It can be powered by a collector system with electricity from extravehicular sources, or it can be powered autonomously by a battery, sometimes charged by solar panels, by converting fuel to electricity and using fuel cells or a generator. Electric vehicles include, but are not limited to, road and rail vehicles, surface and underwater vessels, electric aircraft and electric spacecraft. So, electric vehicle first came into existence in the mid of 19th century when electricity was among the preferred methods for the motor vehicle propulsion, providing a level of comfort and ease of operation that could not be achieved by the gasoline cars of the time. So, internal combustion engines were the dominant propulsion method for cars and trucks for the about 100 years. Combustion means internal heat. But electric power remained commonplace in other vehicle types such as trains and other smaller vehicles of all types. So in the 21st century, electric vehicles have seen a resurgence due to technological developments and an increased focus on renewable energy. and the potential reduction of transportation impact on the climate change. Air pollution and other environmental issues. Project Drawdown describes electric vehicles as one of the 100 best contemporary solutions for the addressing climate change. Electric vehicles are booming. The world-renowned electric vehicle manufacturing company Tesla, as of May 2022, Tesla has a market cap of around $750.45 billion. This makes Tesla the world's sixth most valuable company by market cap according to our data. So next term is gasification. Gasification is a process that converts organic or fossil-based carbon-saving materials with high temperature, more than 700 degrees centigrade. So fossil means the elements of the oldest animals without combustion, with a control amount of oxygen and or steam into carbon monoxide, hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Gasification will transform common forestry agricultural waste into gaseous fuel that can be used to run internal combustion engines, that means internal heat. Cooking stoves or furnace, it's a decades-old technology and was popular during World War II amid a gasoline shortage. Today, an alternative energy startup has slowly begun researching this for forgotten technology. So all power labs with their signature invention, a device called a power pellet can generate clean and cheap burning fuel from nearly any dry organic matter for a fraction of what other green power sources cost. So power pellet is a small refinery which converts biomass to hydrogen, rich gas attached to a four-cylindrical engine which burns the gas to generate electricity. When and cleanly, gasification only by products are exhaust and biocap and nutrient-rich charcoal that can be used as a plant fertilizer, and since all the carbon in plants originally came from the sky, the process is carbon negative carbon in plants which will have been released and natural decomposition in a more stable biocap and that goes back into the soil. Each growing season, more carbon can be requested from the atmosphere. Power pellets are mostly shipped to the developing world to fill the need for energy and places that lack appropriate grid infrastructure. Customers are drawn to the fact that the device can generate cheap burning fuel from the waste agricultural material and replace diesel generators, and unlike solar panels. So power pellets can run around the clock whenever it has plant waste to gasify. All Power's lab has been researching and developing in this forgotten field of gasification, and today employs over 35 people and has shipped over thousands of power pellets all over the world. They are also running local carbon networks and that delivers biogas to community gardens to be used as a fertilizer. So here is the term flying works. So carbon capture is the process of capturing waste carbon dioxide usually from large point sources such as cement factory or power plants and depositing it in an underground geological formation where it forms a hard mineral. So Climeworks is a company from Switzerland that has developed the first commercial carbon removal technology that captures CO2 emission directly from the ambient air, and then special motive uses large fans to draw in ambient air which is filtered through a specialized material that captures CO2 molecules. Each molecule can capture 50 tons of CO2 in a year. As this CO2 free air is then released back molecules, each molecule can capture into the atmosphere. This continuous cycle is then ready to start again. This pure CO2 gas can be sold to different industries including food and beverage industry, agriculture and the energy sector. So CO2 can also be stored underground to create a negative emission and reduce CO2 content of the atmosphere. Carbon capture technology uses a significant amount of energy. So the real impact on achieving negative emissions might be modest unless green electricity is involved in the process. This technology is relatively new and there is not yet a proven market for emission reversal. Although Climeworks claim its operating costs are decreasing, it has a long way to go before becoming commercial viable. The company already has its modules installed in a couple of locations in Europe and their vision is to capture 1% of the global CO2 emissions by year 2025. So here's the topic washing cleaner and that can be explained.
So there is another technology that is ocean cleaner, which is looks very promising for our future. So ocean cleaner is a non-profit organization that is developing advanced technologies to get rid of ocean plastics. We all know that plastic is very harmful to our environment and we can get rid of harmful plastics on land. But what about the ocean? For to get rid of plastics in the ocean, we need to have a technology that is similar to ocean cleanup. And in this ocean cleanup, there is an autonomous vehicle which is kept at river side so that the plastics which are dumped into the ocean from the river are directly captured in the river itself so that the oceans are not polluted from the river plastics. And here is the vehicle that captures plastic from the river waters before entering into the ocean. So the interceptor can extract up to 100 tons of fish. What is the system that consists of this ocean cleaner? The system consists of a long floater that sits on the surface of the water and rod that hangs beneath. The floater provides buoyancy to the entire system while the rod prevents debris from escaping from the ocean. It also it is made in such a way that the small animals and marine animals are not captured in the spot. And this technology catch the plastic and because there is a difference between the speed of the system and the plastic. Using the sea anchor to slow down the system, plastic can be retained and captured. This floating system is designed to capture plastic ranging from small pieces up to the large debris. And there is another promising technology of the future, that is Y-blocks. Y-blocks is a technology that is used to make bricks instead of conventional mortar to make buildings. And these bricks are made with plastics. And since the conventional bricks can crumble with overheating, but plastic cannot crack or crumble like concrete blocks, as they made of plastic can only produce a fraction of the greenhouse gases. So there is a less carbon gas emission from this technology. Y-blocks are customizable to specific size and densities and can be installed 75% faster than a concrete block. Construction with Y-blocks can help to save 50% in material and labor expense, and it produces 41% of greenhouse gas emission than concrete blocks. They don't crack or crumble unlike concrete blocks. The plastic combination of these blocks makes them insect and waterproof. And there is another technology called wave roller. Wave roller is a device that converts ocean wave into electricity. The back and forth movement of water driven by the current helps the wave roller panel into generating into motion, which then converts electricity by using hydraulic piston pumps that connects to a hydraulic motor that drives an electric generator. The electrical output from this wave energy plant is then connected to the electric grid via subsea cable. The machine operates in near shores and underwater at a depth of 8 to 20 meters, where the wave surge is most powerful without affecting the marine animals. The hydraulic mechanical system are also fully sealed into the wave roller, which protects the marine life from noise and other types of inconvenience. Okay, the wave roller provides 7 times more powerful generating capacity than a wind turbine in a similar size area. Wave roller device operates underwater at a very low visual impact, ensuring preservation of the natural beauty of the coastline. The first commercial scale wave roller is already deployed on the coast of Portugal and has already been feeding electricity to the Portuguese national grid. And the rest will be continued by my friend Chiruto Modi.
Let me give you a picture for better understanding. I guess everyone has known about this picture or this logo. I guess everyone should know this Tesla. This is a company which is manufacturing e-vehicles and automated vehicles and very popular in the multinational companies. And they are claiming that it's very eco-friendly when they are converting eco-friendly vehicles, but then also a question arises, are these really good? Is this really an eco-friendly way, like what are these e-vehicles that we speak of? Unfortunately, no. And then when will you buy? Because the electricity that is generally developed to ourselves are converted through coal. which is not a good technology because it's causing pollution to us. This is how the pollution falls and how coal technology is converting to electricity. Coal-fired plants produce electricity by burning coal in a boiler to produce steam. The steam produced under tremendous pressure follows into a turbine which spins like a generator to create energy or electricity. Now you can understand that it's very eco-friendly, right? Because we are using coal, which is not very useful for us. So then, what is the answer to this question? The answer could be first is solar panel or hydro energy or wind energy. But the problem here is that in India we use 90% of power is generated through coal generation and 10% are through this process. Then what is the solution other than this? China is a country so much advanced that we can see has created a machine that can produce a clean source of energy. They call it HL2M tokamak, but everyone knows it by the artificial sun. Yes, they are finally able to create a machine that generates the same energy as our sun. Let us discuss how it works and what its future holds. Let's first understand how does the sun generate so much of heat energy. The atoms of hydrogen collide with each other, which results in a production of helium. And in the process, its mass produces excess amount of heat. Our sun beats up to 15 million degrees Celsius. I guess the temperature around here is 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. You can imagine just how much heat it generates just by our sweating. The process of atoms fusing with each other and releasing energy is known as nuclear fusion. The collision that produces over 600 tons of hydrogen. There are two processes. One is nuclear fusion and the other one is nuclear fission. In simpler terms, let me explain. Nuclear fusion generates 70th amount of heat energy, but in nuclear fission, the nuclear waste it generates very minimum. Whereas in nuclear fission, same thing happens. So the nuclear waste generation is very tremendous. What China initially started was nuclear fission. So it produced a tremendous amount of nuclear waste, which was a bad sign and at the same time not very beneficial to the environment, right? It was an efficient way of generating energy, but in the late 2020s, they finally achieved nuclear fusion. And with that, HL2M tokamak has created and generated 150 million degrees Celsius of energy. Can you imagine that? Our sun is generating 15 million degrees Celsius of heat energy. That means the artificial sun that China created has 10 times the energy of our original sun produces. And by using that, they are producing light, generating energy and whatnot. And it's a big thing. For now, they are not generating electricity, but in the upcoming years, they might find a way to do so. Just imagine if a sun can be created, then keeping daylight in a particular area is also possible. And if they did it in a solar farm, its uses can be limited. And I know it sounds all crazy that how can you generate that much energy and this or that, but then again, we are talking about China, right? If they can slow our Earth's rotation, by 0.06 microseconds, then this idea should not be so far-fetched, right? With this technology, many new ways unlock like clean energy. If a country gains the power to produce clean energy, then they can be advanced in any field, be it construction or technology. If a country gains the power to produce clean energy, they can be advanced in any field, right? It can also subtract the use of coal and fossil fuel, which we originally used to carry electricity, as I told before. Many of you may read or listen to the news, they only knew that India is unable to produce electricity like it used to. And in given time, this problem may arises more. India is currently undergoing the worst electricity shortage in more than 6 years. And the reason mainly regarding this is because majority of the electricity in India is generated by burning coal, and we cannot get the we are not getting that enough supply because of the recent sudden war. As you all know, these are the crises where we are doing a technology like this tackle the those circumstances. I know this is not a very good way, or I don't know about COVID future in coal, but all I can say that within 2050, China is saying that they can produce electricity using this technology, the artificial sun, and I'm hoping they will do that. And I guess they will do that because they are China. Now let us talk about some of the people that have made a great change. First, let me introduce you to Marino. Marino is a citizen in Peru and scientist with a PhD degree. Marino is solving one of the hardest problems in the world, pollution. According to data, 40% of the world lakes are rivers contaminated. So when Marino's childhood lake also got contaminated, he started researching for a way to turn the lakes to normal. He came up with a unique solution. You put the solution in dirty lake and it cleans the water within 15 minutes. The solution attracts the contaminated particles and float them on the top. And it is so environmentally friendly that you can also eat it because it's 100% organic. So he went to his childhood bed and brought tons of the solution treated with biofilters, nanotechnology and crazy biology. And within a few days, he was able to transform the lake from this to this. Presently, this lake is clean of parasites, bacteria and pollution. And now he is thinking big. He wants to clean Peru's biggest lake with a team consisting of PhDs and science. We hope he will achieve that. The next person name is Ilan Diaz. He's an engineer who was building a school in the Philippines. No, but one day he realized that kids were surrounded by plastic waste and couldn't even do their homework because they lived in a dark place because electricity for them was expensive. So he solved the problem by creating a lamp by simply mixing water and bleach together in a use of plastic water and putting it on the roof. He was able to light up the entire room. And now this plastic bottle has solar panels, so it works both day and night. These are the bottles which he used and which are using now. The next one is Emmanuel Aliu Mansard. This man built a solar car from trash. Can you imagine it? He lives in Sierra Leone where cars emit a lot of pollution. He had many ideas to fix the pollution, but no money, unfortunately. So instead, he used his imagination. He collected lots of trash, put together metal, crane sticks, old cables, wires, and after 3 years of work, the imagination car was born. It had everything from doors to brakes to headlights to even a horn. This is the car you can see here. He had built. This is the result car he came up with. This car can go up to 15 km per hour and its only fuel is the sun. Emmanuel built this impossible with nothing but jump, pure jump. He is a proof that solution to one's country problems may not come from other country but that country itself. And it's a great example of what we call recycling. Now next is a company which is popular in the Western. Its name is VinFast. So what is VinFast? VinFast is the first company in the world to quit making gasoline cars. This year in 2022, they will kill their gasoline car division. Instead, they are investing everything they have to make sustainable electric cars so that they do not pollute. 5 cars, 0 engine, all electric. Their aim is to subtract global warming by stopping emission and also making a noise-free vehicle. If one company today has decided to quit gasoline, in the future, every country will do the same, and that's a very good. The next person name is Sharon Garrett. Sharon is a chemical engineer who used to work used to work as plastic at a plastic company. But at the same point, she decided to do something extra opposite. Build plastic that doesn't hurt the environment. After years of research and hard work, she made a unique product that looks like a plastic, function like plastic, but it's not really plastic. When you put a plastic in the water, it dissolves within minutes and the water can still be drinkable. From this material, she can make food for packaging, food covering, bottles for literally anything. This is the plastic you can see here. A plastic can both be usable for humankind as well as so much eco-friendly that not only it won't be harming the environment, but it's also safe for animals. The herbivore accidentally swallows it, right? And if you don't need the plastic, you can just keep in the water and it will melt in minutes. No littering done, no pollution caused, and best, no harm comes to your business environment. So with all this, what we understand that the upcoming future technologies will make our life a lot more easier if we use it properly. Readily evolving, these technologies are not just good for the environment, but are also leading to a job creation and good stage of becoming economically viable as developments continue. By developing a variety of technical solutions, we can create a totally sustainable future for our life provision without damaging the world as we live in. So we would like to give our thanks to Shobhit sir for granting us the opportunity for making this very special video. Very special session. So these are the references we use for our research and everything. We use technologies wise so that our future will be bright. We all must keep this in our mind.